Okay. Thank you for waiting. Just send out the termite report for the client. Okay. Try to save every deal I could. Lately, the buyer is not so pretty. They want this, they want that. Really picky lately. Okay. So we'll go. First of all, thank you for coming. During the pouring rain. I know it's that's a typical Californian. They don't know how to drive during the rain. Okay, we'll go through the seller advisory because those are when give it a seller so what they can prepare everything during the escrow or even during the listing. So also for the paragraph number 1. The sale of property in California is a process that involves many steps. From start to finish, it could take anywhere from a few weeks to many months, depending upon the condition of your property, local market condition, and other factors. You have already taken an important first step by listing your property for sale with the licensed real estate broker. Your broker will help guide you through the process and may refer you to the other professionals. As needed, this advisory address many things you may need to think about and do so. Your market and your property, some of these things are requirements imposed upon you either by law or by the listing or sales contract. Other are simply practical matter that may arise during the process. Please read this document carefully, and if you have any question, ask your broker or property legal or tax advisory for help. So basically, if we have any law issue or any tax issue, please do not be volunteer to answer those questions because they can hold you accountable. Okay. Oh, quick thing, just want to remind you, if whoever, well, certainly we all have we are the licensed agent. Did you know our code of ethics, we have to get re-educated, get a CE credit every 2 years now? So you guys did it this year? Good, because I haven't. so I gotta do it this couple of weeks, do the NAR. Watch the slide and take the test, okay? Just want to remind you. Yeah, every 2 years, code of ethics. The well, this part of a CE continuing education credit for the license. If you've been for years, then later on every 2 years, you gotta get the code of ethics class. CE continuing CE credit. Yeah, need to watch a slide for 2.5 hours, then take the exam.
From the second sentence, from the second sentence, you have already taken an important first step by listing your property for sale. This sounds like this seller's advice is especially designed for the listing.
No, it is though. This is seller advisory. This is seller's advisory. Yeah, this is for seller, because buyer have a buyer's advisory. The purchase and the buyer's advisory are total different, statements. Because those are, you gotta advise the buyer, you gotta do this expansion. But that's a buyer's inspection advisory. That's what the initial we call BI. This is the seller advisory. So you gotta have to keep the condition the way it is. It look good for sale. And now in that, they gotta have to remind them, you need to disclose, a lot of things during the period of time. So the disclosure, general disclosure duty, you must affirmatively disclose to the buyer in writing any or all known fact that material affecting the value of desirability of your property. You must disclose this fact, whether or not asked about such matter by the buyer, any broker, or anyone else. This duty to disclose apply even if the buyers agree to purchase your property in its present condition without requiring you to make any repairs. If you do not know what or how to disclose, you should consult a real estate attorney in the California of your choosing. We stop right here. So if the seller doesn't know how to fill in the disclosure statement, for example, transfer disclosure statement, later I'm going to cover that, and the SPQ, seller property questionnaire. Those are the seller have to fill in. If you do not know how to fill in, is it your job to consult? No, not really, legally. But I know we did. But one bottom line is, don't use your hand to write it for the seller. Whatever the disclosure, they have to get your own writing. Don't write it for them. Never, 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 because that's, on the court, they will say, oh, my agent filled it out for me. You're dead. You cannot do that, because what it's telling you, if the seller doesn't know how to fill it out, they should consult a legal attorney, real estate attorney. It's not supposed you, but I know we did it anyway. So that's why, at least the bottom line, don't, help them to fill out the SPQ and GDS. So broker cannot advise you a legal, sufficient, or any disclosure you made. Okay, so that's pretty clear to say that. If the property you are, actually, if we give in a consulting, that's, we don't have a sufficient knowledge, put it this way. If somebody, the English really good, tell them, consult the real estate attorney, or they do their best. Do their best. I can only give it a general guideline, but I cannot tell you every question what to fill out, because you tell the seller, I do not live within your house. I don't know what's going on. I mean, you can ask me how to fill it out, and I will tell you, say, you fill out as much as you could, every details. If it's not enough space, we'll give you the addendum or whatever. Okay, because the more you disclose, the more liability you release. If the property you are selling in a residence with 104 units except a certain subdivision, your broker also has a duty to conduct a reasonable, competent, and diligent visual inspection of the accessible area, and to disclose to a buyer all adverse material fact that the inspection reveal. If your broker discovers something that could indicate a problem, your broker must advise the buyer. So if you know, or seller you rather indicate it or let buyer know. If buyer doesn't like it, they want to cancel, okay, no hard feeling, but at least you disclose. Don't hide it, anything, because I have seen those disclosure statements, especially SPQ, They mark everything. No, 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 no. They did not disclose anything. Come on. I don't think you live there for perfect condition. Very, very, very rare. I don't think so. I don't really believe, So at least, you know something. You disclose it. Because if you do not disclose it, then you are actually purposely lying to the buyer. Then if buyer found out later, can buyer sue seller? Absolutely.
If the seller said, well, everything looks okay, how we find out? We need to ask some for the.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay. I mean, for example, if the plumbing leak before, it's been repaired. You stated the plumbing. What happened? What you say? It was leak, and it's been repaired. Simple sentence of that.
I know property owner. If I'm seller, probably forgot already. I will not mention that.
That's why you gotta have to tell your seller. Do not rush to fill this form. Take your time. You give it out if you could. When you take the listing, give it out the disclosure to the seller. Let them do the brainstorming. Think for the past whatever the years you've been live here. What did you do about this house? All the remodeling, all the repairs. List it. List it. Because this is your only chance to release your liability. Even you release your liability, you will still get lawsuit. Remember on Tuesday I told you the mudslide issue? You still get lawsuit. But think about if you did not disclose, the settlement amount can be even bigger because you purposely lie to the buyer. You did not. You say, I forgot. Do you think judge will say that? They'll believe that? I forgot. Oh, yeah. Okay. Did you forget to eat? Yeah. So, did you forget to go to work? Then how can you forget? When you live here, and we didn't tell you to rush to fill out this form either. So take your time. Give it at least a few days to a week. Or sometimes you can help them to refresh their memory. You ask them, did you ever do the repair? Did you claim any insurance? That's a general guideline. Okay? You can, tell your seller, say, think hard. Think hard. Don't hide anything because it will backfire to you if you hide it. Okay? Whatever the repair, that's fine. You disclose it. Because it's already done. If they say, okay, roof leak, fine. I did replace a roof on whatever the year. You don't remember what year. Say, okay, how many years ago? More than 10 years ago. Okay, fine. Then, did you release the liability? Yeah, I did replace it. Or it was leaked, and then we patch it, or somebody repair it, and now it's fine. Okay. Simple sentence of that, and you release. That means you disclose. You did not lie to the buyer. But if you could, all the repair receipts, keep it and pass it on to the next owner, the buyer. So if they have any receipts, so they can, after, if any repair or anything happen again, they can, after those the same company or same contractor, and consult with them because they know better than.
So even that improvement will also be mentioned?
Yes. All the remodeling. Say if you put new flooring, do you want to disclose it? Absolutely. New tile, new carpet, new wood floor? Yes, everything. Even if later on when I go through the SPQ, even a paint. When you painted, the house within 1 year, you have to disclose it. Within 1 year. I didn't say it a long time ago. Yeah, but 12 months. And okay, if the property you are selling is already 1 to 4 units, you also have a duty. Okay. Okay. B, statutory duty for 1 or 4 residence units. Okay. For that mean is more than 5 units, Did you have to disclose it? It's commercial property. The commercial disclosure is so easy. You saw the commercial disclosure is almost nothing. Yeah, they don't really have to disclose anything like TDS or SPQ, seller property questionnaire. No, not really. I think it's more than 4 units. When it started with a 5 units, you can all pretty much skip that. That's why. You only disclose something like natural hazard disclosure statement, preliminary title report, those kinds of general in the property. But anything in the condition for the house, you can't. Because, for example, if you're selling a 10-unit apartment, oh man, I cannot disclose every unit of them. If you look at it, if we 1 to 4 units, how do you write it? The proper way to write a TDS and SPQ is you disclose it on every unit. Yes, not in general, whole thing. No. The proper way to disclose is each unit have 1 set. And that's why, if you look at an Asian visual disclosure statement, AVID, they have unit number. So if the 4 unit, you gotta need 4 AVID. Okay, 4. Because every unit is different.
Talking about the disclosure, the most sensitive topic is in the past 3 years, everybody died in this problem.
No, well, some people do care, some people don't. But the issue is, we gotta determine what kinds of death, natural death or unnatural death. Natural death is 3 years. Unnatural death is forever disclosed. Forever. That's for the law. Homicide, suicide, it's forever disclosed.
The reason why I say only use my attention. A lady owned a home alone, and she shot recent tip from the jail breaking into her house. She shot into that legal. This kind of issue.
Forever. Forever. So if if you have a tenant like that.
So the disclosure is not very simple. Yes or no. You have to explain.
No, you can explain unnatural or natural death. Okay. The only thing you don't need to disclose is AIDS. AIDS patient. Yeah, that's the only. AIDS.
AIDS.
Yeah, the AIDS patient. Yeah.
So you don't have to disclose.
Yeah. That's the law protect them. But just like we usually I will put it on the agent remark if anybody pass away inside the house, then I will just put on the agent remark on the MLS. Just like one of my listing and the currently I disclose it on the agent remark half a year ago.
So when you disclose it, just say natural death.
Yeah, I would say okay, that particular issue is the wife is passed away inside the house, naturally consider sickness, old ages, not suicide or homicide, no, peacefully. But pass away, I don't want to use dead. Die inside the house. Yeah, I know you can say that in the agent remark, but I'd rather use pass away. Okay, I don't want to say die inside the house. Pass away inside the house means the same, but the impact's different. Okay, you gotta have to know all the words. If you're too direct, people will get.
Somebody start a website to get all the information about homicide or death house.
I mean, you can always go to the police department. They all have a records. Put in the address. If any address has a suicide or homicide before, they have the record. Go to the police department to check on it. Easy. The good thing is they open 24 hours too. Okay. 2, depending upon the age and type of construction of your no, I'm sorry, skip that. You must timely prepare the deliver to the buyer among the thing, real estate transfer disclosure statement, TDS, and the natural hazard disclosure statement, NHD. You have legal obligation to honestly and completely fill out the TDS form in its entirety. So you're gonna have to explain to the seller, especially Asian, honestly and completely. Don't skip any question. If you don't know, you can answer no. Okay? But don't leave it empty or unfilled in, blank. That is not considered complete. So it's a listing agent duty. I know sometimes when I receive the TDS, it's blank. I say, what do you want me to sign? I kick it back. Tell the listing agent. Tell the seller refill it in. What do you mean? It's like, oh, seller doesn't know anything. So, did you have his eyes? Did you check on it? A seller to check on the house, TDS. And sometimes the SPQ, they will skip some of a question. I said, you kick it back. I said, wait a minute, you need to fill it out. Even, the seller doesn't know. Then you fill it no. I cannot fill in. Do not fill in anything for seller, okay? Especially buyer's agent or buyer. If the seller make a mistake, some of a questionnaire, and I would I will explain to the buyer. For example, I know the most of they will make a mistake is on SPQ, first page of the question number 2. That one is saying, did you have any adjacent fence, wall, anything like that? And they say, oh, single family. So they assuming they do not have any adjacent neighbor. Wait a minute. Well, did you share the fence? Most likely, right? 99%, you all share the fence with the neighbor. That's consider. Okay, you do share the property with the neighbor. What's that? Fence. They already stated that. Fence, wall, anything, or any property shared. But what property you are sharing with? It's a fence. But I will go over that, repeat that, when it's when I go through the disclosure statement after the listing package.
Please allow me to ask a
Sure.
question. What's the difference between SPQ and the TDS?
Oh, TDS is transfer disclosure statement. Transfer disclosure statement actually is considerably whatever comes within the house. The material, the equipment, whatever you want to pass it on to the buyer. Okay, so those are the material items. SPQ, why they call it? It's a seller property questionnaire. What questionnaire? They are asking seller what happened during your own ownership. Not material item, but everything that happened during the ownership. Okay, not that your existing item, what you're gonna pass it on to the owner. That's a TDS. Yeah. So if you look at those, it's like obvious. The TDS all pretty much material items. They tell you either you have this or you don't have that. Or sometimes they will ask, do you have a 220 voltage outlet? If you don't know, okay, you can skip, or you say, don't know. Or if like, how many years of your roof? Or what kinds of roof? I mean, obviously you can see it, tile roof, composite shingle. Or those are if the seller said, I don't know. Well, you can kind of say, okay, your house is a shingle. I mean, as a listing agent, you should know what kinds of roof. Some of them, they cannot really hard to tell it's a metal roof or the gravel roof. The flat gravel or the sheet metal roof, those are very rare ones. That's a AVID. Each party agent, you have to fill in agent visual inspection advisory. So buyer's agent need to fill out one, and listing agent need to fill out one. Unless you are the dual agent, you'll just only fill one. Otherwise, you need two separately. You have a legal okay. Many local entity and organization have their own supplement to the TDS that you may also be asked to complete. So beside the TDS, sometime, on different region, they have their even more thing to disclose. Okay, an NHD is a statement indicating whether your property is a certain designated flood, fire, earthquake, seismic hazard zone. Third-party professional company can help you with this task. We do, on the ZIP form, we also have an NHD, Natural Hazard Disclosure Statement. But the issue is, do you think seller will know? I don't think so. So that's why we order the third-party package. Cost probably $100. Explain to the seller. It's your own protection. Because you don't know where's a flood zone. You don't know what's a fire or any earthquake fall zone. If you answer wrong, who's responsible? You, seller. If you answer your own NHD. So you rather, order a package to the buyer. No, the usually listing agent order through the escrow. Yeah, then escrow order the NHD package, then pass it on to the buyer. Certainly, the seller will get a copy too. We do have the people that doesn't want to buy Hacienda High because when they look at NHD, it's a fire hazard area. Well, it is, on the hill. Well, it's a heights. What do you expect? Heights. What do you mean heights mean? Hills. When you have hills, then you have potentially fire. Recently we see the fire so often, right before the raining, for this couple of weeks, last month, we see so many fire. And one time I know it's like a few weeks ago when I played the golf in Corona area, and I say, that smoke, when I play, I say, that smoke looks like a fire. Not what I'm saying, the fire, like the house fire, but it's like a huge fire. Big, yeah, wildfire. I say, okay, fire started. Then about like say 15, 20 minutes, you still see all the plane, those the fighter plane. Not fighter plane, the rescue, for the water, for the rescue water plane. Start pouring water. Here we go. Then you see this from the black smoke to white smoke. Right before I finish a golf tournament, golf game, they say, shut. Okay, good. So the fire got contained in the Corona area. So, yeah, and you got so many planes passing by, so the helicopter, on that. Do you know on the greater LA area, who has those planes? The richest county. LA County. Only LA County has those planes. None of other county, Orange County, San Bernardino County, Riverside, they don't have it. So every time those county or the city, they have to fire, they have to pay LA County $3,000 per trip. Hey, I own the plan. How many they own? 30. Oh yeah, they have to, from the smaller, with the water one, okay, to the big one, DC-9, DC-10, to the biggest one, to the jumbo 747. Yeah, because LA County has money. They know how to make money. And why? Because LA County have 2 money-making machine. Where is it? LAX. And what else? Long Beach Port and San Pedro Port. Every cargo you landed, money. Do you know how expensive when you land the plane? How much? Let's put it. How much for the plane parking fee? Put it this way.
Something like 50 or 70,000 for that landing.
Minimum 30 grand. Per landing. 30 grand. And how many millions per day they make in LA? Oh, let's you talk about money printing machine, right? Faster than anything. Yes. And LA City also have to disperse their money to LA County. Because that part, it is controlled by LA City. But, you know, they have to share, you know, all the resource, everything, because it's not really exactly located in a city. Yeah. And that's, you know, I say, oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Because I have one client, you know, he showed me the business. What do you do for a living? I'm a manager in LAX. What do you mean manager in LAX? Managing the whole LAX. And look at the business card. It is a Los Angeles, you know, LAX, you know, the airport manager. Okay, then what do you do? I say, what's your job? So, anything happen in LAX, I control it. So you mean control the plane landing, everything? Yeah. Police? Yeah. Custom? No. Oh, custom, that's belong to federal. FDA? That's, you know, also federal. Now what else? That's it. That's only two things I did not control. That any other thing? Yeah. Under my supervision. Ooh. So you gotta have to know everything. You have the experience on that. So what do you do? I said, oh, okay. Since I graduated from when I was 18, graduated from Wona High School. He's from Wona. What of a manager? Chinese from Taiwan. Yeah, and he worked for the airport police for 3 years, then fly to the commercial airline for another 3 years, then go to the tower for another 3 years. You know, directing the plane. Okay, and after that, become a supervisor on the tower for another 3 years. Then he applied for the job, LAX manager, because they only have 3. Why? Each of them work 8 hours a shift, because the LAX open 24 hours, only 3 manager. Okay, so each one of them, well, you know, 8 hours a shift.
Very juicy job. Make a lot of money from it.
Oh, well, they actually county make the money, not exactly the manager. When I look at his income, I deep in my heart, that's it. That's it. Yeah. But they got a really nice paid vacation. I think in 1 month or 1.5 months per year. Yeah. Benefit definitely is good. Great. Look at income. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought it should be more. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah.
For the port in Chicago, going to the port and loading the cargo.
Yeah.
Each time, starting from $1 million.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, for whoever control the crane, those are cargo crane, you know, on the top. Inheritage job. Father to son. Just like our mayor, city of industry, from father to son. Yeah, inherited, and because that's over, they got about 150,000 their income per year. 150 to 200. Well, minimum. And when they're starting, starting at about 150. I don't want to, you know, it's like, yeah. Well, certainly, it depends on the experience. Did you see you work overtime or not? Well, that's a lonely job. You're the person in the top. On top of us, great. Okay. All right. So it depends on the age and the type of construction of your property. You may also be required to provide it, and in the certain cases, you can receive a limited legal protection by providing the buyer with the booklet entitled "The Homeowner Guide of Earthquake Safety." Okay, and the Commercial Property Owner's Guide of Earthquake Safety. Protect your family from land in your home and environmental hazard. And also a guide for the homeowner and buyer. Some of this booklet may be packaged together for your convenience. We all package together for your convenience. You know, actually, title company, they have those booklets. You pass it on to the buyer. Or, I know most of the listing agent, suppose listing agent should pass it on to the buyer. But 99% of the listing agent did not pass it on because they're assuming, buyer's agent, you grab your own booklet, or you print it out, or you email it to the buyer through our library, the zip form library. They have a whole package, about 50, almost 60 pages. If you go down the zip form library, they have that. They emailed it to the buyer. Or we already pay for those forms. When we join the board, do we pay for the form? Yeah. So if you go check out the library, they have it in the computer, online. Okay. If you go down a different category, right here. I just tell you. Say if we want to add document. Add forms. California Association of Realtor, this is a package. If you click this, that's the library we got, okay? All right? So you got all kinds of stuff over there. And so if you look at it, that's, for the, because we click all right here. And also, let me get up. Oh, I hate it. What happened? You got stuck again? Okay. Here. Same thing. You can view all the forms. Okay. So you get into the library to look at it. Okay. That's a form library. But so that's why, you can look at it, on each different category right here. Okay. So that's a two-way you can find it. Disregard. Okay, they'll come back. But I mean, if the buyer want to get a hard copy, you just give them each, our office will all have the booklet. The title insurance company, they usually give it a whole stack. You can just, give it away to the buyer. So those are, telling you. Okay. Continue. Actually, a lot of forms and the stuff is there, and all you need to do is just find it. Yeah. Full screen. Okay. So if we require, okay, okay, we'll continue here. Convenience. Okay. Some of this book. Okay. The earthquake guy asks you to answer specific question about your property structural and preparedness of the earthquake. If you are required to supply the booklet about lead, you will also be required to disclose the buyer any known lead-based paint and lead-based paint hazard. Separate the form. The environmental hazard guide informs that the buyer of common environmental hazard that may be found in properties. Okay, very simple general question. When, how many, what kinds of, what years, what we need to disclose? Okay, if the what do you think if the house built in 1978? Should we disclose it or not? They say prior. Technically, they say prior to 1978. You need to disclose. But how about it fought in 1978? Technically, legally, you don't, but I think usually I will. Why? It's because who knows, when that material been bought. It could be bought in 1977 and built it in 1978. The paint could be still have lead. I don't know. I know that legally they should stop selling in 1978-7 already, but I mean, who knows? If they bought it earlier. So if it really fall into 1978, even they say prior to 1978 legally, if 1978, it won't hurt to disclose. If you don't, that's okay. Legally, you don't. They say it's prior to 1978 or pre-1978. You need to disclose.
What about trash dump site?
Trash dump site?
Yes.
Well, put it this way. If you know, you disclose. Put it this. For example, if you're selling the property in Three Oaks, or West Covina, on the Azusa, or even close to, say, the Bill Gate and the community, do you think you want to disclose it? I would. I would.
Is there any regulation?
No. No.
Or within what kind of regulation?
They're really, the best of your knowledge. That's all I can say. Say, for example, if you sell the property in Ontario, do you want to disclose the airport? How far? Usually within the miles. But the noise is not just limited to a mile. Because when the plane take off, they make a right turn or make a left turn. They may still passing on, It could be more than miles. So if you ask the seller, did any plane pass along above your home around the area? If you do, okay, can you hear it? Oh, okay, I'll disclose it. Or if the house close to church, temple, school, cemetery, did you want to disclose it? Yeah. Then, if you think you need to disclose it, then disclose it. Okay? Don't think about, should I disclose it? If you do not doubt, do it. Disclose it. Then obviously you don't, you will disclose it if you're close to a railroad, you got a rail track, or see that those houses right next to Valley and Walnut. Can you hear the train passing by? Some of the house, like Alhambra, even the train that go underground. Do you think their house may shake? The condo and townhouse right on the Mission, on the first row, only the first row. You can kind of feel it. Oh, unless, you cannot feel it, then I cannot say much. I could if I show the property, if they just passing. Yeah. So that's why they go underneath. They try to avoid a vibration, but still, more or less. But if that's the case, do you want to disclose it? I will. Because I don't want the buyer to sue the seller. After that, you did not tell me the train passing by. The seller said, so that's so obvious. I didn't see it. Because you did not disclose it in black and white. Okay? Yeah. So, I mean, be careful for those things. If you think need to let the buyer know, then do it, disclose it. Okay? Number 3, if you know that the property located within the 1 mile of former military ordnance location, what's that? Military base. 1 mile. You need to disclose it. Affecting by the zone or district allowing manufacturing, commercial, airport use, you must disclose this to the buyer. Usually it's within, but you put it this way. They say it's within 1 mile of a former, okay? Or in the affecting by the zone district allowing the manufacturing, commercial, because sometimes manufacturing, they may have a noise. Commercial airport use, you must disclose this to the buyer. Do you want to disclose it like those in Chino, the brand new community close by the Chino airport? I would. Yeah.
Says only the military ordnance location. This just you don't need to.
Well, you could though, located within 1 mile. It's like Irvine.
I know.
Or Lake.
Near the 4-5 in Seal Beach.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, there's a Navy base. Yeah.
Storage for all the weapons.
Yes.
That's the ordnance.
Yeah, that's, you see, oh, I didn't see any ship. It's not for ship. It's for submarine. So you don't see it. They store all the missile over there. Posa Chica, if you know the area's name. Because every time I pass it by, my aunts live over there, Huntington Beach. Okay, CO Beach, Huntington Beach, that's in between. Okay, Posa Chica. You can see that that's a naval base. I didn't see any dock. No ship. Every time I pass by. I only see yacht because they have a channel because they live in on the low side. They have a little bridge. They have the ocean coming up as a channel, canal, coming in. So the yacht actually you can park in your backyard. And you have a docking area. Okay, but it is though. They are next to the naval base. 1 mile. But I mean, sometimes I may disclose even further, just in case. Some people say, oh, you put all the missile Navy base. It's like, they don't want to be close by it. So fine, then don't buy it. Yeah, because San Diego, you got a Top Gun over there? You got Camp Pendleton? Yeah. So I mean, it's certainly San Diego. They have a port. And that's for the older air carrier. Air carrier, they're docking over there. Yeah. If you get a chance, you can visiting on the air carrier. It's huge though. One time I went on the one on the steel service, because of friends, service on the air carrier, Nimitz on the 67. Oh boy, it's huge. Not the one that's parked on the docking history one. No, not the Midway. No, that is a retirement. What I'm talking about is still on service. That's a huge. Yeah. So you better disclose it if you think you need to. You are also required to make a good faith effort to obtain and deliver to the buyer disclosed notice from the appropriate local agency about any special tax levies on your property and pursuing the Mello-Roos Community Facility Act and Improvement Bond Act in 1915 and a notice concerning the contractual assessment providing by section of the street and the highway code, special tax disclosure. And that's why when we order the natural hazard disclosure statement, make sure if you could attach with the special assessment tax package together. It's only $10 more on top of NHD because they all have that service. Escrow. When they order through the NHD, and those are natural hazard disclosure statement company like Fidelity or American Title or something, whatever. Those they all have it. American First American natural hazard disclosure statement. They have the package. Say if you remember our tax, our purchase agreement, we have a little check mark. Actually that check mark is what you tell the escrow officer. Don't forget the tax. If you have it, order the package. If it's tax, because for us, it's really hard to find out how much it's paid, right? And if you could just order the whole thing, probably $10 or $15 more than the usual NHD package. Then you can pass it on to the buyer. 4. If the TDS NHD let military ordinance, commercial zone, and special tax disclosure provided to the buyer after you accepting the buyer's offer, the buyer will have 3 days after delivery and 5 days if mailed to terminate the offer. I'll stop right here. The new form coming out on December 10th, they will adding an email as well. And how many days for email? 5 days. Same considered as mails. So those forms will have, they will, you know, put in more on the electronic. You know, I'm not so sure what the wording they're going to put email or they're going to put electronic mail, something like that, you know, on the form. Then it's considered as a mail. The 3 days after delivery, that means I give you the form. That's considered delivery on the spot. Okay?
The next day,
yes, always next day. And suppose, do we know after we sign a listing agreement, we should give a seller a copy right away. But if you printed out the listing agreement and you go to the seller's house, sign it, and you don't have a scanner. Oh, let me give it to you tomorrow. A hard copy if the seller wants a hard copy. We all violated. We all violated the rule. Legally, it should be right away. But now they revised that when listing agent capable or enable to make a copy to you. Usually, I could just scan it. I bring the portable scanner. If you don't have a portable scanner, we all have a smartphone, right? I can tell the app to say Adobe scan. You take the photo, it's like, you know, if it's like a desk, you put the piece of paper. Actually, they can crop it. They know because the color variation. They're pretty smart. They cropped it. So you hold, you know, the whole thing. They cropped it. Yeah. That's for the smartphone. Actually, Adobe Scan. That's an apps. Adobe Scan. You know, when I'm selling the business opportunity, you know, listing, you know what I did? I make a copy for the menu. You know, sometimes, you know, I keep the, you know, for the restaurant menu. So they cropped it. And I can continue page after page. That actually, Adobe Scan has become, when you take the photo, it become a PDF file. That's a PDF file, not image. They transfer they put it as a PDF file. So you took it, then you can have all the pages if you connect it. So if you know, it's a free apps. I'm cheap, okay? I hardly pay any apps. No, I'm not teaching you any iPad or iPhone. I was a few years back. I teach it. I actually, you know, teach for the iPad, iPhone, you know, training class. No more. Okay. Way too many questions when I started. I tell you that. Way too many. I say stop. Otherwise, it never ends. Okay. You could though, you could. It's just like image take more space. And image, I cannot put all the file together. It's like, you know, PDF, I can put all the pages together, one after one, right? And not only that, once I took it, and if you're not so happy with the crop, you can actually, you know, make the angle and make the adjustment to crop. Even after you save it, you can come back and edit again. Or this page or that page, you want to connect it together, you can also merge. Okay, they all have that feature, and it's free. That's the most important. Free. No. This is a calendar day. Okay, let's put it this way. What is only thing considered business day? The only one thing. Initial deposit. That is the only thing considered business day. Rest of them, all calendar days. That's easy. Your initial deposit is business day because you gotta have to turn into escrow. So that's a business day. Other than that, all calendar day, including the holidays too. Okay, holidays. That means we don't have holidays. We don't have weekends. If there's somebody say, James, I want to buy a house, but that's falling to the Thanksgiving day. Are you going or not? I want to buy the house now. I will. Yeah. So, which is why it is important, extremely important to complete this disclosure as soon as possible. There are certain exemptions from this statutory requirement. However, if you have actual knowledge of any of these items, you may still be required to make a disclosure as the items can be considered material facts. Okay. C. Oh, you know what? One thing, I don't know why they did not add it in. They thought a district allowing or zoning. Okay. What I just, telling you, for everything you need to, the location, you need to disclose it. But mainly, you gotta have to remember that from temple to church to even, schools, community center, senior center, and if it's even jail, correction center. Okay, we use a better word, correction center. Jail doesn't sound good, just like die inside the house. No, pass away inside the house. You say reduce the price. That doesn't sound good. Reducing. Seller doesn't like that. Reduce. Adjust. Okay, you gotta have to know how the wording. C. Debt and other disclosure. Many buyers consider debt on the real property to be a material fact in the purchase of the property. In some situations, it is advisable to disclose the debt occur on the manner of a debt. However, California Civil Code section provided that you have no disclosure duty where the debt has occurred more than 3 years to the date of a transferee offered a purchase, lease, and rent the real property. Okay, regardless of the dates of occur, that are the occupant, that property was affected, that died from, that's the HIV virus. See that? This law does not immunize an owner and his or her agent from making an intentionally misrepresentation in response to direct inquiry, a transferee, or a prospective transferee of the real property concerning death on the property. I know right here they didn't say natural or unnatural, but it's just like I'm telling you on the information why I doing that and the Brother James. Hey, what is that now? all you guys are feeling, finding everything? Usually they would just have to count their head. How many people show up? Anybody? Still not? Okay. That's enough. So the test is actually really important to certain people. And I know in Asia, they only disclose is unnatural death. So that you need to educate, especially Asian. Natural death in in California, I cannot say United States. In California, you still need to disclose it. Okay? If you do not disclose it, listing agent won't be known in the on the property. That if the buyer later on they found out from who? Neighbors. Neighbors love to gossip. Okay? Neighbor who love to gossip. Then they found out. The listing agent said, "Why don't you tell me?" "Oh, I forgot." "Come on, you forgot?" Or if that's the case, as a listing agent, if the seller didn't let us know, we're not liable. If the buyer want to sue seller, you're on your own because you did not tell me. I cannot help it. Just like I have one case in Walnut, seller did not tell me. They thought it's past 3 years, which is true. Past 3 years, they don't have to disclose it based on this law. But unfortunately, it's not natural death. When the buyer's agent after a half year later called me, "James, do you know the house? Somebody passed away 11 years ago, or more than 10 years." I didn't know. Seller didn't tell me. Let me find out. So I call seller. "Did someone pass away inside about 10 years? Yeah, my father's suicide 11 years ago." Huh? What happened? The good thing is the buyer's agent doesn't know the natural death, the differences. So I mean, I'm pretty vulnerable. And the seller, he's working title company, and she should know. I said, "Yeah, it's more than 3 years." But I told her, I say, "Look, it's an unnatural death." And I say, where's your dad, suicide?" "Oh, on the driveway." "Okay, fine. I don't want to know anything more." I don't know. Driveway, how can you suicide on driveway? But anyway. But that's outside the house. Okay. It is a property. So if the front yard, backyard, driveway is still in the property. Okay. The good thing is buyer is a retired doctor. So doctor will see a lot of dead body in the hospital, right? Okay. So they're okay. Just who say so? Neighbors. That's why the longer you practice on this career, hey boy, I'm getting scary every time. Because you have more and more cases. You be careful, be careful. I have to be careful. And some of the cases I rather don't touch it or whatever, Yeah. So that's why when you get a license, you think you know everything. No, you got nothing. You don't know anything.
One more question.
Yeah.
If people die in the neighborhood property, neighborhood want to sell the house, so that the neighborhood also need a disclosure.
Neighborhood?
Yeah.
No. As long as not.
It's not a relative. No, not.
Okay. Put it this way. As long as in premises.
Yeah.
When we talk about not just a house, why we don't say just because the land consider.
Right.
So we talk about within the premises. Within the premises. Yes.
So whatever.
Yeah, if they outside your premises, that's fine. But for example, if somebody die heart attack in your front, not yard, sidewalk.
So we need to do that. Even the police, gunfire kills people in the
Sidewalk belong to, it's an easement,
basement. Yeah.
but it's belong to the homeowner.
Okay.
So that's why we have an insurance to protect those people fall in front of our home. pedestrian. But you know what happened? If the ambulance, if you someone call ambulance, because nobody determined, determine no, not look, the determine he's dead or not. Okay, so if the ambulance hauled away, that's fine. Yeah. The only thing is coroner come hauled away. No, that's dead. Because only police and paramedic people, they can announce a person dead, and they have no way to save. For example, if you've been passed away for days, no way. When the God can make it, alive, yeah. Couple hours, you're tough already. Days, can't. Yeah. So those are, they were announced dead. Yeah. Yeah. So clear, for the death, because I know it's a lot of the issue, may happen on falling on this category. Yeah. So those are. Condominium and other common interest subdivision. If the property is a condo, a condominium, townhouse, or other property in the common interest subdivision, you must provide it to the buyer copy of a government document and most recent financial statement, distribution, and other document required by law or contract. If you do not have a current version of this document, you can request them from the management of your homeowner association to avoid delay. You are encouraged to obtain this document as soon as possible, even you have not yet entered into the purchase agreement to sell your property. What's that? HOA document. But a lot of sellers, they wait until they open escrow to order the HOA document. I know it's going to be late. So you kind of let the seller know, if you got an HOA document, why don't you order as soon as possible? Because you need to spend the money. Then don't let the seller order by themselves. Why? Because a homeowner order package is different than escrow order package. The worst thing is some of HOA company, they cannot separate a different document, because the homeowner, they order a package to the escrow. I say, oh, let me order it. Fine. They order package, they give it to the escrow. Escrow, oh, I still missing a couple of documents. Oh, okay. Let me call them and order again. No. First of all, owner cannot order those packages. Only escrow office can order. The escrow office order and HOA cannot separate it. So that means escrow have to order a whole package again. They end up seller pay twice. Okay. But they didn't disclose right here, because you're gonna have to learn from the mistake, learn from the hard way. Then don't let the seller order the package by themselves. Another thing, some of the sellers, they are so cheap. Can I turn in my old package? No. Why? Well, the HOA document look the same. No. They could be revised of the CC&R, rules and regulation. Okay? The main thing is not the same. It's your master insurance. They update it every year. Okay? That's the main thing. The lender, they want to see it. Your master insurance. That will be updated every year. So you tell sellers, say, don't ever do that. And some of HOA, they have not just one. The maximum I heard, 3. It will cost the seller a fortune, which is true. 3 HOA document. Some you pay monthly, some you pay quarterly, and one you pay annually. You have to order all 3 package. By law, CC&R, and also minutes, and also establishment. Usually they're established as a corporation or something. Establishment, and master insurance. Yeah, and also the balance sheet, because for the reserve or whatever they spend, those have to be updated. Master insurance and balance sheet, those have to be updated. Yeah, meeting records. Lot of things. But since we talk about HOA, what actually will kill the deal? 5 different categories. When the lender they will issue the condo certificate. They want a condo certificate to the so the basically you actually the 5 things it will kill the deal. One is litigation. If the homeowner sue the HOA, and the other one is an owner occupy and renter tenant ratio. Because if it's too many tenants, yeah, then it's not going to finance. Yeah. Another thing is master insurance coverage. And what else? Reserve. If you don't have enough reserve, lender may not finance. One more thing. How many are default? The residents, how many did not pay the HOA? How many they default the payment? So because that kind of affecting the reserve as well. Okay.
So as a buyer,
HOA document doesn't show that. The 1 of 5 thing I tell you, that's showing only on condo certificate, and that has to order through the lender. Actually, lender give the form to escrow, and escrow give it to the HOA, have them fill it out. And that will cost buyers money because buyer need to pay for that. It's not seller. Seller only pay for the HOA documents. But buyer, they pay for the condo certificate. It's because that certificate is to satisfy the lender. It's not because the lender. The law by the our Fannie Mae guideline. Then most of our lender, they've loan you and sell the package, sell the mortgage to a Fannie Mae. And that's their guideline. What's the guideline? If the whole community, 50% are tenant, you cannot get an investment loan if somebody want to invest. Okay, you gotta have to pay cash. 50%. If more than 50% are tenant. If more than 70% are tenant, you cannot even get an owner-occupied loan. So if any community more than 70% are tenant, all cash deal. Unless you borrow from hard money, well, that's a different story. But if a regular lender, they won't finance. Okay? 70%. 70%. 50%, if they're more than 50% are tenant, investor loan cannot qualify. So when you submit the offer, you ask the listing agent. If the listing agent doesn't know, they say, can I have HOA phone number? I call. Don't believe seller. Sometimes I don't even believe listing agent either. I do it. So don't assume. Do not assume. Okay? Unless you already know, if, for example, in Hacienda High area or Roland High area, you know well enough, I can tell you which community still can financing either investor loan or nothing. Like Hacienda Pine, all cash. Okay? More than 75% are tenant. Then what do you think? No way they can finance. Another thing is that if somebody submit an FHA loan, well, then you're gonna have to go online and see if this community is qualified for FHA loan. So when every time you get in the condominium, it's just more trouble. Just like I still have one case in escrow right now. I'm struggling with litigation. The underwriter is so tough, and we still try to persuade them. For the one on the open case on litigation. Even the HOA, they all have insurance, and they want to make sure the insurance coverage is sufficient to cover the lawsuit. Yeah, the insurance more than the $1 million policy. But since the lawsuit doesn't really have a plaintiff, the settlement amount doesn't show. So we asked the HOA, please, what is original? What's the dollar amount? What they are suing for? Finally, HOA gave it to us by email. Hopefully, underwriter will take that so we can push the loan through. Otherwise, no deal. Otherwise, we have to change a lender. Every buyer is so precious right now. My precious Lord of Ring. So you must have the provided copy of, so those are, you need to provide it. And, okay, so I covered that. Okay, contract terms and legal requirement. Contract term and condition. A buyer may request as part of a contract for the sale of your property that you pay for repair to the property and other items. Your decision on whether or not to comply with the buyer's request may affect your ability to sell your property at a specific price. So the contract terms is, sometimes, whatever the condition of the property. If it's been remodeled, great. It's been so beat up, you better lower the price. Otherwise, you just help other listing to sell them. So that's why the three things we learned from Mike Ferry, you gotta repeat it again when you're the listing agent, okay? First of all, first question, do you still need to sell your home? Need to, not just get your feet wet, okay? Second, do you wanna set the price right or sit on the market? That's what we talk about, condition, okay? Three, am I the one to service your account? Yeah. Or am I your listing agent? Yeah. Oh, I still need to interview some other agent. Okay. Do we have any question you are not satisfied? Let me know right now. Try to overcome an objection. And maybe if you could, given the pre-sale package and overcome the objection right before. They could be, they call you, oh, your commission is too high. Okay, we can talk about that when we meet. So you know. And, oh, your price is too low. Okay, we'll talk about it. So you gotta have to prepare before the meeting, if it's possible. So sometimes it's just like, unless you are the tough guy, you know how to react right away. When they ask, you know how to react. You know how to perform right away. That takes experience, though. The contract terms is, for example, if you want to, some people, they only give us a month listing or two short listing. If that's the case, I have to make the price attractive. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time. This is the price you want, and the period of time you only give me a month. How do I sell your listing? Right? Okay. You want this? I want 1 year. What? Because you want this price. Why? We gotta have to wait the price gradually go up before it reach your price, reach your destination, reach your ultimate goal. So I need 1 year listing. Or special condition, it could be the condition is not so good, or like the contract term is it could be for I'm still especially did you know a lot of contract term is like the seller, they have to finally relocate the property, so they want to close the escrow contractually or contingent upon selling, finding the replacement property. That's considered contractor. So those are, you gotta have to make those price more attractive. Otherwise, why buyer cooperating with you? Because you are begging the buyer. Okay, it's not vacant property, or you are ready to move. No, you are asking a favor from buyer. Yes.
It added the back or enlarge a little bit, right? Do we need because of remodel or whatever we need do we need to ask about a permit?
Do we ask a permit from seller?
Yes.
If since you don't know, okay, put it this way.
Yeah.
When you take the listing, did you check on the tax data before you go, or when you bring the CMA report? I will, I will attach with the R realist, for the report. So make sure I say, okay, you ask the seller. So title is 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
I did a lost count, right? 4-bedroom.
Yeah.
Where's the other bedroom coming from? Oh, it was a bonus room. Okay, for example. So we're adding a closet.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you ever have a permit to apply for it? Because what we see is a tax record. But the issue is the city or county building and safety department did not communicate. They won't communicate with a tax assessor, county tax assessor department. It relying on homeowner to bring those documents, the permits, to the tax assessor office. Why? The seller doesn't want to bring those documents to the tax assessor department because they may reassess the value and have to pay more property tax. But that's what we call the buyer's due diligence. What's a due diligence mean? Carefully investigating. That's our due diligence. And that's part of it. You go to the county, you go to the city. If you're not so sure, okay, you have a permit. But county never updated. So you bring those permits. Or if the seller has it. But I still go to the county and city anyway. But I'm telling you, only 5% of the agent will go. 95% just let it go. I want to protect myself. I go to the city or county pretty often, especially when you just doing the commercial property. You go there even more often. You find out the permits, everything. Then, if it's different than the tax assessor, you bring those permits to the tax assessor. Is it okay? And are you going to reassess the value? Okay. If you need to reassess value, please do it right now because we have in escrow. Oh, okay. Make sure seller pay those tax and penalty and interest. Because if you let it go, become whose responsibility? Buyer.
And that's why because a couple of weeks ago I won a house. He have added a large a little bit, different other people. Other house is same size, but he got extra. So that's why we need to ask that, right?
Sometimes the seller only give you the permit. You thought it's a permit, but I rather verify in the city or county. Why? Because sometimes it is a permit, but it also in progress before the permit. They never have a final stamp. The county city doesn't know they really added.
So if the extra room was permit agents ago, now you go to the county assessor, tell the county assessor to correct the records. Are they going to collect the tax for the past 10 years plus interest?
Most likely, yes. If you don't do that, become buyer's job, buyer's responsibility. Okay? So you better go to tax assessor, ask them what they're going to do because it's not our job. Okay? So originally it's 2,000 square footage house, it suddenly become 3,000. Well, then where's the other 1,000 come from? That's a buyer's agent. I did sell those property in Hacienda Heights. Show title only showed 2,400 square footage, but actually it's a 3,500. Where's the 1,100? Well, it's second story, the master bedroom built on the top. Is it has a permit? I don't know. So the seller, they don't know either. Okay. Is it listing agent's a job to go to the county to get the permits? No, that's right. Whose job is that? Buyers and buyer's agent. Don't expecting seller or listing agent will provide you. That's not their responsibility. That, you know why? It's because if you read the buyer's inspection advisory, read it carefully. Buyers and buyer's agent due diligence. It's their due diligence.
Sometimes if you do your due diligence duty, you have to be careful. Here's one case. The buyer's agent go to the city, check the house, got the swimming pool.
Mhm.
It's not in the escrow.
Mhm.
It's only the showing state.
Mhm.
And the city go to the house,
Mhm.
telling them you have to come on your whole permit. And then the owner of the house sue this buyer's agent,
It's okay.
and the buyer won. That this agent had to pay the damage.
There must be something wrong with it. It shouldn't be.
This is an actual case.
And that's, but I will still do it because that's our buyer's due diligence. You know why? It's because on the buyer, if you look at the buyer investigation, advisory, clearly stated, buyer, okay, I don't do it by, okay, put it this way. When you go to the county, did you go alone or you go with the buyer?
Mostly go along.
No.
You better with your buyer.
You have to drag the buyer. Either buyer they go alone or you go with the buyer. You don't go alone. Whatever you go alone, you don't disclose those information. I don't engage to the seller or anything. I can go alone before the purchase. If we found out anything's illegal, and I will tell the buyer, skip this property. Why bother? Why bother? Right? Why bother? Yes. Just give it an address. And go on a rainy day. So we got less people. And depend on what you want. Some of them, if you check on the permits, go in the afternoon because usually morning contractor, they have a bunch of people over there because they have more people in the morning. But after lunch, one time I go to the like the one in the county building and safety department on the La Puente for the LA County, rainy day. Hey boy, 3 people in the front counter. They serve me. I'm the only one. And do I have to pay you any copy? We see it quite often. It's okay. Take it. You just print it out and give it everything you want. Yeah. But when they're busy, they will collect your money. Oh, how much per page? Oh, $1 or $2. Okay. Yeah. But that's that's why I say that's why your situation probably they after the buyer's agent because they go alone. And they backfire and cause that issue. Because if the principal has a right to know, not agent. I would. Agent remark. I do the agent. I won't do the description. Not description. I do the agent remark. So somebody pass away or something, without a permit, or you just you gotta have to advise the buyers and buyer's agent. They have to do their own due diligence investigation, and you better disclose it. You better disclose it. If these are converted to the room with the bathroom and the kitchen, you better say so because that may violate a lot of things. Okay, and it's not listing agent's job. It's a buyer's agent. If you do that and the agent remark, fine. So that's why before you submit an offer, at your situation, the buyers, actually when I did it, if I look at it, property, on a real list, it will show if the house has a pool or not. If it doesn't have a pool and existing, you sold the pool. You will ask the listing agent, is that pool has a permit or not? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Then if you don't know, doesn't show on the tax record, okay, then I probably will tell the buyer, skip. Why trouble? Because if that doesn't have the issue, yeah.
I encountered a case
Mhm.
the square foot, the linear square footage
Mhm.
on the title is
Mhm.
different from the county access record. The difference is about 100 square feet.
Mhm. 100 square feet is probably still okay. You know, sometimes it could be the variation. Then if you want, you can still go to the county. I want to verify, you know, you can ask the county people or city people and say, my client interest this property and we like to see the, what the square footage, see if it's matching the MLS. Okay, they will show you the even original copy when they built it. Could be 1960. Oh, that's pretty old. Because they all have a fish mill, you know, on the fish, the company, you know, for the film, they actually print it out. You know, they have to find it, you know, by zoning or the track number or the parcel number. That. So they can print out a copy. Some is really, really old, you know. It could be blur. But I mean, at least you see the number, you know, it's just a square footage matching on the title or square footage matching on the, sometimes it could, sometimes the title is more than the actual one. It happened. Well, that's why I tell the buyer, say, well, let's look at it. You know, if we go by the city or the county, we go by this. Tax assessor, they can also make a mistake too. Okay. So mistake may happen, or somebody input it wrong on the number. Okay, withholding tax. Under the federal California tax law, a buyer is required to withhold a portion of a purchase price from your sales proceed for the tax purpose unless you sign affidavit and non-foreigner status and California residency or some other exemption applied to the documented. Okay, we have a coworker, you know, has the issue with the withholding tax lately. IRS sent the tax bill to the buyer. Why buyer? Seller didn't pay. Whoa, seller didn't pay. Who's supposed withholding? Escrow. If escrow mailed the document late or the dollar amount late, or then IRS could be given the interest and penalty. Whose fault is that? It's really hard to say because now it's because the IRS sent the tax bill to the buyer because he's the ownership. He's the owner of the house. Yeah, so that's an issue. So sometimes, you know, being an agent and the buyer is blaming our coworker so badly. I never have a situation. Even it's an escrow delay, could be. So you have to.
It's seller's choice of the escrow company.
But so what?
So
yeah.
The buyer still.
But we don't, because we don't know when did they mail out the bill. Within 20 days, they have to send out the money. If they delay. So that's why even, you know, when you are close of escrow, I will reminding you, talk to the escrow officer. Did you mail out all the documents, all the fee? If you already know has tax withholding, or anything on that, it just, you know, even it's not your job, but I learned now it's a situation like that. See if you know the escrow, they will send out something, but this is kind of special situation because seller also filed the other one to the IRS to say see if they can reduce withholding tax, but the IRS did not approve. But seller doesn't let us know, and end up half a year later, the buyers received the tax penalty bill. So it's like the longer we practice, we have more trouble. Even this is a supposed accountant issue, right? Or just a real estate agent. The buyer will blame who? You, buyer's agent. Yeah, it's tough. So that's why, you know, the if you know it's a withholding tax, kind of, you know, check with the escrow company. Make sure they send out proper way, proper bill. On time. Okay, prohibition against discrimination. Okay, discriminatory conduct in the sale of real estate against individual belonging to a legally protected classes. It's a violation of the law. So not only that, you gotta have to let the seller know. No discrimination. Don't you ever, especially as a listing agent for sale or for lease, be careful on what you say. You are not the seller. And you remind seller, do not discriminate anybody, any races, any sex, or anybody, put it this way. All right. I don't want to sell anybody, with the a 2 man or 2 woman together. Oh, come on. You better don't say that. Government requirement. Oops. 12 o'clock already. Okay.
Sellers advice is still good for residential leasing.
This is a listing because they attach with the listing agreement. So that's why seller advisory is attached with the listing agreement. So that's why not only the listing agreement you explain to the seller, so do, it's kind of important. I mean, usually what I did is, I go through the ball print and you kind of know what they are talking about. You tell seller. Okay, you didn't need to tell the seller word by word like I do. I'm teaching you right now. Otherwise, you will get a seller say, come on, when are you going to be in? Your listing presentation usually take about an hour, a little bit longer. If you finish it, it'll take whole days. Her leasing agreement, even worse. Okay, I'm going to cover that after the disclosure because the lease have more lawsuit than purchase. That's what I can tell you. So that's why a lot of agents, they don't want to do the lease.
Are you giving us job our percents?
Oh, that's okay. Give all the lease to me. I do a lot of lease. Okay. The more you do, you know how to protect yourself. But I still do it very, very carefully at every case. Because I don't want anything happen so I can sleep better. Knock on the wood. Yeah. Okay, we'll come back on the paragraph D, government requirement and repairs and replacement alteration. That's actually involved for the city inspection.